Alright YouTube, so we have an interesting bit of Call of Duty news today, and it's for Call of Duty World War II, and it's a possibility of Sledgehammer Games actually censoring the Nazi memorabilia for all copies of the game. Now, we are far from a Call of Duty channel here. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years now. We have over 500 and something videos on the channel, and I could probably count the amount of Call of Duty videos I've done on one hand. But if there's something I feel like talking about, I will do it. It's not really a game series we're really going to cover in terms of like gameplay and news, unless it's really, really interesting news. Because I do enjoy the series. I do play the fuck out of every Call of Duty for the most part. Now, the Nazi memorabilia being censored in Germany is nothing new. They have to censor the Nazi shit, anything from the Third Reich, or they just can't sell the games there. So that's nothing new, and it's the same thing this year. They're censoring it for Call of Duty World War II. But what we're talking about today is the possibility of Sledgehammer Games actually censoring this shit for everybody, including the US, whatever the case. Now, I learned about this through somebody on YouTube, and I hate that I can't remember which video it was, because I like to cite my sources, but I just don't remember. It's just a passing comment, somebody talking about Sledgehammer censoring the Nazi stuff for the US as well as Germany. So I was like, I gotta look this up, man. So we're pulling out an article today from iDigitalTimes. They start the article with, Call of Duty World War II has been marketed as one of the most realistic depictions of World War II, but in accord with constitutional law, the game won't feature the swastika symbol in its German editions. No announcement has been made with regard to the US release, but it appears some changes might happen for us as well. Our investigation into this controversial subject was spurred on by an alleged chat log posted on Reddit. In conversation with an Activision support professional, it was said that the German language editions of Call of Duty World War II will be censored for constitutional reasons. It was also added that an official statement will be made regarding other regions at a later date. See, that seems kind of weird that they're not specifying. You think it's like, well, if it's only Germany like usual, then everything else will be okay. The fact that they're waiting to say it kind of is a little bit of a hint towards that they might do it for the US and other countries. For those familiar with Call of Duty's previous World War II titles, this will be no surprise. Under, I'm guessing the symbol for Section 86A of the German Constitution, all symbols and greetings related to the Third Reich have been banned. This ruling impacted other older entries like the Call of Duty World at War and Call of Duty Finest Hour. The censorship typically resulted in swapping a different country's symbol or replacing a portrait of Adolf Hitler with a portrait of a Hitler Youth member instead. Obviously, Activision has to abide by the German Constitution if it wants to sell its games there, but it appears some of those global practices might sweep their way into Call of Duty World War II's US release too. Not only does the game's reveal trailer conceal Nazi imagery, but its US teaser site also makes changes to German passport and document stylings to remove the swastika from its designs. Most recently, the native Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles DLC removed swastikas from remastered German maps and replaced them with statues or iron crosses. See, until I read this article, I had not known that. Like, I knew that the Zombies Chronicles DLC was remaking older maps, but I had not heard about them censoring this shit for the US copies, the US versions, and that doesn't make a whole lot of goddamn sense. Like, they censor it there in Germany because it's their history, and of course World War II is our history as well. We were a part of that, but it's like a bad side of their history, so like that's why they don't have it there and it's not allowed there and all that shit. We don't care here, we're the fucking US. Pretty much anything goes in our video games. So it seems kind of weird. I didn't know that Treyarch had censored it, and it's kind of weird, like if you're making something old, that's not a remake. You were changing it up. Why the fuck would you change it for us? It's kind of goddamn stupid. So I think that the fact that Treyarch was willing to make this change to an older version of a game that had Nazi memorabilia, I think that that's kind of hinting towards the fact that Sledgehammer might do it for us as well. While a few altered assets will have no impact on the game itself, these findings have sparked an isolated but furious debate around the world. All sides agree that German law must be followed, but beyond that there are other discussions to be had. Is it disrespectful to essentially rewrite history by changing the Nazi identity? Does removing the symbols help stifle the spread of Nazi ideas? Is this censorship just political correctness for the sake of political correctness? We'll let our readers address those questions in the comments. And I have to agree with that, man. You can't just rewrite history. You can't pretend like shit didn't happen, or you're doomed to repeat it. Bad shit happened during World War II. Nazis existed. Hitler existed. Why sweep that under a carpet whenever it's literally a fucking game about World War II? It's literally in the goddamn title. You cannot pretend like Nazis did not happen. If Germany wants it censored, fine. It's one country. It's a big fucking country, but it's one country. But to censor all Nazi memorabilia for every copy of the game is just fucking stupid. I mean, they're marketing this game as like the most realistic World War II game ever made, yet they're talking about the possibility of censoring this for everybody, and Nazis did. How do you do World War II without fucking Hitler? Like, that's the goddamn point of World War II. So to censor all this shit, it's literally going against the possibility of this being the most realistic World War II game ever made. That being said, even if Nazi imagery is altered in all versions of Call of Duty World War II, there may be some clever ways for Sledgehammer to work around it. Maybe weapons will conceal where the symbols would otherwise be. Maybe we won't see depictions of Hitler because there's no narrative reason for it. If censorship has been in mind from the start of World War II's development, it's possible most folks won't even know it's there. Look, I can understand what they're saying here in this article. Maybe it's a standalone story. Maybe you're just doing like small-scale battles with other enemies in World War II. Maybe it's an original story and there's no need for Nazis. You know, it could be all these things. But the problem is when there's a spot where there's supposed to be a swastika, where there's supposed to be Nazi imagery, and they changed what would be a swastika into an iron cross, or whatever the case, whatever they would replace it with, that's the issue. Where there would be Nazi imagery, they're putting something else. That's the problem. Now, if in the story you don't even deal with Nazis or Hitler or anything like that, I can understand it all. But again, if you're swapping out what would be something Nazi-related for something else just for the sake of censorship, that's when it is a problem. And they end the article with, what do you think of the swastika debate surrounding Call of Duty World War II? Should those symbols be featured in the US release? Should we hide them? Is this a stupid fight to have in the first place? Tell us in the comment section. Of course, I want the same from you guys. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this subject. Now, see, in the past, we've talked about World War II's multiplayer, and there's going to be female characters that are playable. And this was a bit of a problem for some people because historically, in World War II, there wasn't a lot, if any at all, females involved in the wars. In those times, it was all a manly thing to do. And I didn't really get it. I didn't understand it because it's multiplayer. Who gives a shit about historical accuracy in multiplayer? You're just fucking dicking around with your friends, killing shit. If you want historical accuracy, I can't call in a fucking score streak every time I kill a group of guys. That's not how history works, you dumbasses. But anyways, if you want to bitch about historical accuracy, this is what you want to bitch about, is them changing Nazis and all this other shit during the story mode. During the story mode, it is an issue. I can get behind that. If there are females in the story mode of Call of Duty World War II, I can kind of see people being upset about that. I get that. We were talking about multiplayer, not a big deal. But if they're changing out Nazi shit during the story mode of Call of Duty World War II, then I can get behind that. That is a problem. And look, I've said it in the past, I'm not somebody who gives a fuck about the story mode or the campaign for Call of Duty. I do not give a shit. I buy the new Call of Duty, I install that bitch on my console, and I hop right into multiplayer. Maybe a few months down the road, I might fuck with the story a bit. But typically, I don't even finish the fucking campaign. Like, I don't care, because I'm bored and I want to hop back into multiplayer. I love the grinding process. I love prestiging. I love hitting that master prestige. It's very goddamn rewarding. Once you master prestige, you feel completed. You've done everything you can really do in that multiplayer. You're ready for the next Call of Duty. That's what I fucking like. So I don't care about historical accuracy when it comes to Call of Duties. But they're fucking up a lot of things here. Like, they're doing everything right. Everybody wanted an older Call of Duty. They wanted boots on the ground. More specifically, they wanted a World War II Call of Duty. They're doing all this shit, and it's supposed to be super realistic. And then here we are, hearing about this shit, and it's going to piss off a group of fans. Whether it's a big or small amount of fans, we don't know yet. We don't even know if they're going to do it. But if they censor Nazi stuff, it's going to burn a lot of fans. And Sledgehammer's already on some thin fucking ice with Advanced Warfare. I didn't think it was that bad of a game. A lot of people disliked Advanced Warfare, regardless of my opinion of it. But, you know, it's already been 6 years of Sledgehammer making Call of Duty games. 3 years, because the devs are on a 3-year cycle, you know, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, then Sledgehammer. 3 years for Advanced Warfare, 3 years for World War II. If they fuck it up, man, that's 6 years of fans being disappointed by Sledgehammer. You know, Advanced Warfare had the shitty fucking pay-to-win supply drop thing. So now, if they piss off fans with World War II, whatever the means may be, and not just this Nazi memorabilia stuff, it could be supply drops, pay-to-win type shit like that. If they burn fans again, it may finally be the nail in the coffin for Call of Duty. Now, I know people have been saying COD's dead. They've been saying that for fucking years. But if they go old school, boots on the ground, World War II Call of Duty, and it's still bad, it may really be the end of Call of Duty. Anyways, guys, as always, leave your thoughts below on this subject. Do you care about this? Do you care if they censor Nazi memorabilia? Is it going to affect your life in the slightest? Do you care about historical accuracy, at least in the story mode, maybe even the multiplayer? All that shit, let me know your thoughts below. Anyways, guys, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Till it comes to conclusions, all the things that we thought we were losing. I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place. 'Cause I want you to know